Hello, my name is Riley Johnson, and this is my Sprint 4 review for Game Systems Integration. You see, currently we have our current build-up, which is 0.29, and this is our submission changelog, just so you know. It is the final build for our project as of this class. Let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? That's an issue with my computer, don't worry about that. I need to update my graphics card. So here's scripted, here's our game. The first thing I did for this month is I redid the level select screens in order to make them better reflect a little mansion. So they are all laid out in various floors, and they are all organized in such a way that they can be logically connected into a mansion. I organized them into floors, which are the levels of content. So ground floor is month 1, second floor is month 2, and third floor is month 2, but sprint 2. We see we have multiple levels we can go into here. They are not the final designs for these. Of course, the artist is going to come in and replace all these. These are just placeholders. As to what levels they are and how they'll connect is also up in the air, because I'm sure we'll change that around more in week 3, once we have more of a logical flow of narrative and how we want things to go. But for now, this is what we have going on here. So up to our top floor, we have level 13, which is my level that I'm going to show you here with my mechanic in it. It has 3 possible stars you can earn. We're going to be earning all 3 of these stars and showcasing that this updates as well. Let's head in. So once we enter the level, we can see our bonus objectives listed here. We have to complete this level in under 2 minutes, complete this level with full health, and don't get shot in this level. Those are our 3 objectives in order to get 3 stars within this level. So I'm going to go ahead and start. So on a first playthrough, a person might not take for granted these stars. So I'm just going to show you an example of what a normal player might experience on their first time through. So they get here, they don't want to go near the enemy, so they're going to keep moving on so that they don't get noticed. Past here, the enemy is coming back, the enemy is on to me currently. But no matter, we come here, we eat these cherries. Why would these cherries be here? The player might wonder. Then go over to the other side and complete the level. We can see we've done 2 of the achievements. We did not get shot, and we completed this level in under 2 minutes, but we did not complete this level with full health, which is why that is still there. We want to complete this. We want to complete this with full health, so we're going to try again. And now experience the intended solution to the problem. Basically, the cool part about having side objectives and things of that nature is that it really encourages players to work outside their comfort zone and to try things that they would not normally try in terms of how to complete a level, which is what we want to encourage by designing this level this way. So this level is deceptively simple in the fact that it is quick to beat, but it is tough to figure out and master. The real puzzle comes in the achievement of getting 3 stars, because you can get all 3 stars. So the first step to gain 3 stars is, you see that damage is mandatory there, so we're going to need to get to these cherries in order to gain health so that we don't lose right off the bat. Let's time that right. And now you see we're full health again. Ooh, the AI is coming down here. Luckily, we got out of their range before they noticed. I'm just going to... Okay, good. The enemy is caught in the trap and is currently stunned. So the enemy is not going to be an issue for us for now. We get in this vent and we get to the other side, and we have solved the puzzle, essentially. And that will grant us all 3 stars. Just to show that all 3 stars are working, we've seen Win with Full Health not work. But I'm also going to showcase the Do Not Get Shot and completing this level in under 2 minutes. You can see our time is pretty close there. That's actually about the amount of time it takes. So if you are trying to get all 3 stars, it will be close to the 2-minute mark. But let's just play it one more time. Oops, I went to next level by accident. So we are going to go back to the main menu and jump in again. You can see we have all 3 stars. Fantastic. So that completely works. We're going to go in and try it one more time, however. We're going to get shot once. Oh, let's pass turn. And we are just going to sneak up behind him, knock him out, make our way to the door. Now that we're here, we're just going to wait, so I'm going to explain just a bit more of my philosophy while we wait for that timer to tick up and before we know whether or not my mechanic has fully worked or not. Getting this mechanic to correspond with the various things and making this display on your screen here that you see before you was a very difficult process, because as you see, this text is not static. This text is not just built for this level. I essentially made a system that you can load into any level and it will display the conditions for you to succeed on that level. I did this by making multiple permutations of the required phrase at the end. So basically I have it run through a tree, it checks if any one of those are the star requirements. If it is, it takes it off the list, then goes through the tree again. If any of them are the star requirements, takes it off the list. And it runs through it 3 times in order to get 3 different permutations for the 3 different levels that will be required of the player. So we can set this on any level and this will appear, and it's fully set up to implement into every level, and it's super easy, super simple, and you can even add custom mechanics and add more mechanics to it, and it wouldn't be that more difficult to accomplish. Alrighty, 5 more seconds and then we go through and we will see if this works or not. Perfect, we got no stars. Thank you for watching. I've been Riley Johnson and this has been my Sprint 4 review. Thank you.
Hi instructor, my name is Dominic Woods, and today I'm going to be playing for you my mechanics and my level in our game Cryptid. So you're going to want to go over to the 3rd link on our select level. You want to choose level 12. That is my level. I have a 2-level part in my game. So this is the first part. This is basically an introduction as to what the players are going to be doing and how the mechanic works. So that way they have a better idea what to do and what to avoid when they actually head into my actual game. So let's go ahead and start playing. So, right here you enter, and there's a collision that's saying, I'm getting kind of tired. There are these brains, they look like they're good to eat. One of them has a weird color, but I think I should avoid it. So let's go ahead and actually start the level. So, right here, you have 3 doors. The first door is taking you to this pink brain, also known as the good brain. The second door is taking you over to a purple brain inside a green test tube that says bad brain. And the final door takes you to the next level. So, if I walk over, I can't open up either of these 2 doors because I don't have enough keys. So if I walk over to this door, you can actually see that, hey, oh, you can actually make your way over to the good brain. Now, if you look right here, I have +3 movement left. I have a 0 score. So when you eat the good brain, it's actually going to return this. Instead of it going to 2, it's going to return this back to 3. So you can see right there. So it went 4-3, 4-3. Giving me back the 3 movement that I had lost originally. And then we're going to escape the clutches of my enemy before I die. And I'm going to vent over to the next location. So, now what does the bad brain do? Well, the bad brain, when you actually consume it, it reduces your player's movement to 0. And it actually subtracts 10 points from the overall score. And it actually deals damage to the player. So if you watch over here, you can see I have 5 movement left since I moved from the vent. I have a score of 10, and this would have been full health, but if you watch over here and I lay down, it takes me down to about halfway. Once the player sees that widget, they are going to be stunned for the turn, the score is reduced and they take damage, signifying that, hey, you actually can't make any more moves. So let's go ahead and end my turn. Gonna collect this key, this cherry, and we're gonna move on to the next level. So finally, the next level is actually where the players can play and start solving some puzzles, trying to move on to and finish my mission. So right over here, this is the library. In the library, you have good brains and bad brains layered throughout the entire level. There's actually bad brains that are hidden on top of vents. There's keys hidden in secret rooms, as well as a secret entryway to move, or sorry, secret exit that you need to get to in order to move on to the next level. So, okay, I need to get the keys and escape. There are more hunters in here, so I need to be careful and not eat these nasty brains. I can use the good brains to get to the vents. So if you look over here, I have a couple images. So the first image actually shows you where the first key is going to be. It kind of gives you a clue as to where to look. The second image does the same thing. You see the second key, a cherry, and a bad brain. And if your player is looking at this and they understand that, hey, some of these vents are actually going to have bad brains over them, which means I have to be extra careful, because if I keep on venting and I don't have enough health, I could potentially die. Finally, the good brain right here is signifying that, hey, the players, if you actually make your way over and are able to obtain the good brain right before you hit the vent, you'll have enough movement to actually vamp to the next location. So let's go ahead and let me show you what happens when a player eats too many bad brains. So I'm going to take some damage right there. I'm going to end my turn. And we're going to eat this bad brain. So another part of this mechanic is when a player eats too many bad brains, they potentially could actually die in this game. So you want to be able to avoid that. But I want to go ahead and showcase this to you so that way you can see how the bad or good brain works, and how the bad brain, why the players should avoid the bad brains at all costs. So now I'm just going to need to take one more hit from a bad brain. Oh, actually, I think, yeah, I have to take this one. Okay, we'll just take 2 more hits. I'm going to vent over. So this right here is meant to be a trap for the players in my level. And you can actually see over here, once a player reaches this, they're going to be able to see the secret exit way. But I'm going to go ahead, vamp over, and you can actually see I hit a bad brain. So I'm going to end my turn, because I can't actually move. And I'm going to take this last hit right here with this this bad brain. And once this widget ends, it should take me to the you lost screen or you were captured. So that's how that mechanic works. So now let's go ahead and actually play the level. I'm going to show you how you can actually succeed in this mission and win the game from my own experiences playing it. So I'm going to take the good brain, use it to get just up all the way up to the top of the stairs. Sadly, there's no way of avoiding this, so you're going to have to take this hit right here. And I added these cherries. There's only about 3 cherries in this level. It's because the player needs to be conscious of how many cherries are in the level, if they can continue taking the damage, or if they should just avoid it. So we're going to actually opt to avoid that cherry because I don't want to use all of it, just in case I need to vent. Or I need to move on to the next level. So we're going to take this, and it actually gave me just enough movement to move on. See, since the key's right there, I'm actually just going to grab that key. I'm going to grab it. Oh, did not grab it. My bad. Not enough to hit him. So if you're looking over here, you notice that, hey, there's a cherry. So I don't think I needed that. It would have been helpful if I can actually eat that cherry and move on. But I'm just going to go ahead and ignore it. And this is in the perspective of like a player. If the player is like, hey, oh, I'm good. Oh, I actually don't have enough keys. Basically, at this point, you should have understood, like, oh, this right here is where the second key is at. Because it's a pink and yellow hue. So let's go ahead. We'll let him get a little bit ahead, so that way I'm not interacting with him. I'm going to go ahead and use this hidden vent right here. And that is where the second trap is for the hidden vent. So I actually vented over and I landed on top of a trap. So I'm going to collect this key, collect this hidden cherry. Oh, since I have no more movements, I can't technically vent. I accidentally ended my turn one too many times, my bad. And you know what? I'm going to actually... I'm going to go ahead and vent over here. I know I'll take the damage, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. And you can see the player is, at this point, you have to think strategically. I still have a cherry left on the map if I decide to go back for it. But since I've already played this level multiple times, I know what the risks are and I know how to actually survive at this point. But overall, that is my mechanic. You have a jump scare mechanic mixed with some damaging effects, because in most horror games, if you take enough damage from a jump scare, not only does it add that thriller aspect to your level, but it also adds the risk, you know? Because, hey, the more jump scares you take, your possibility of getting stunned, the enemy grabbing you, the chances rise higher and higher. The possibility of, you just taking a lot of damage and eventually dying is there. That is just how my mechanic works. This is playing to the pillars that we created, the suspension, the thriller. You're going to be willing to take risk, and you can't really avoid using, the bad rain, sadly. You can try to go around, try different methods, but avoiding it is just not one of the options. So I hope you enjoyed my level. I hope I get some good feedback from you. Thank you. Bye.
Hello, my name is Jerry Story. I'm part of Team AFK Games. Our game is Cryptid. We have made a puzzle horror game. Our game is turn-based. Our aesthetic is definitely going for a little bit darker themed horror feel. This is our Sprint 4 mechanics and our level prototypes. My level is level 11 on the second floor. It is 3 tabs to the right. For this week, I'm gonna turn off the music real quick. And so for this week, my mechanic was a alarm system for the AI to interact with, essentially. So this mechanic has the player go and press the button that you can see on the left. It's pretty emissive, so you can't really see the cylinder that's there, but there's a cylinder there that the player uses their rock which is bound to the Q key currently. When the player hits the button with the rock, the button retracts into the wall, lights up a red emissive, and then on purpose, the next time the player passes the turn to the enemy will then have the alarm set off. The alarm will be red, and it will report a noise. The noise will then attract the AI over. Once the AI is close in proximity, they will have to turn off the alarm, along with basically go back on patrol right after. So the way I have it set up is basically once the button's hit and it turns to the enemy's turn, they'll report a noise at the location. The AI then has to do a move to, which is set in the blackboard. The AI then moves to it, and then there's an overlapping volume on top of the tile that holds the alarm itself, because that's an individual tile. I thought that was the best way to have it, since we move on a tile-based system. The biggest thing with that being the overlapping volume is pretty large, because I want the alarm to go off, but they have to inspect it. A second part of that is also intentional. This part is that all AIs that heard the alarm go off have to go and check it out, even if it's turned off. They all go over and check out what's going on, even if the alarm is turned off by the time they get there by a different AI. I have it intentionally that way due to the fact that I think if an alarm was going off, you'd, regardless of if it stops, you'd still want to check out what was going on. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing the level. This one is this specific first part of the level, because there's a green door that goes to a whole nother one, but technically they're part of the same level. Um, Basically, I wanted to just introduce it and then have what it's like to get around without an alarm system, which is the top side, which has 3 keys that the player must collect to get to the key door, which I'll show you in a second. And the second part of this level, like the second level, is more of like a practice master kind of area, where the player is going to have to use some critical thinking to be able to escape the AI. I have it set up that way because I want the player to be thinking about how to use the alarm system, when to use it, the moves that they're going to take afterwards. And I thought that that was the best way. So this guy's gonna keep moving nav points. I'm just gonna keep walking behind him. And then once he gets over here, it gets really dangerous. So I'm gonna try my best to grab this key and then get out as fast as possible, because he's gonna turn around and spot me right away. Yep. So I'm gonna get down here, not go over because I only have 1 move left. I don't want to die to the spikes to the gun while it's going off and I don't have my turn. So you see down here at the bottom, this key door will now be unlocked, and this AI is coming over here. I'm gonna press the button, end my turn. They're both gonna go over. I'm gonna open the door, grab the extra points. He's gonna go walk all the way over. He's gonna look back, and now I have to make my getaway to the next level. Okay. Like I said earlier, this one is more so meant for practice / master of this mechanic. So at the top side, you have a fairly open area that you have to kind of get around and navigate a little bit to get to those. This guy's pathing is fairly short, so he comes back around pretty quick. At the bottom side, you can't really see too well, but there we go. That's better. At this bottom side, basically this guy paths right here and then heads back and kind of guards the vents in between these 2 floor spikes. The player can set off the alarm, which is in the bottom right. There's 2 ways you can kind of do this. You could go right now and kind of risk it. Well, there's a few ways. You could do that. The second way is to push the button right now, go, grab the stuff real quick, and leave. The second way is when he turns around, press the button, head back to the vents, and then leave. He'll go back and have to turn off the alarm all the way at the other end of the hallway, which leaves plenty of time for you to grab the key and points. So I'm gonna go ahead and end my turn here. Head over through the vents, come through, press the button. He's gonna go turn it off. Now he's gonna turn back around, spot me, but I'm gonna be quick and through the vents. End my turn. Now this AI up here is going to be a little bit tougher. He's gonna turn right, so it's actually really good timing for me right now. If I go ahead and press the button, he's gonna go turn off the alarm, and then he's gonna turn left to go back to that nav point, because that's the one he was going to last. And now he's gonna go to the bottom. I can now open this door and enter the code. Now, I wanted a really simple puzzle here for players. I really wanted to showcase the mechanic more so than the puzzle element or anything else. So I just had a simple, 1999 with 2 keys. Shouldn't take too long to press these buttons. And with that, now the door at the bottom is open. I gotta make sure that this guy isn't facing me while I leave. Otherwise, he'll look at me and chase me. And it'd be really hard to get across that wall, obviously, while, or well, less of a wall and more of the traps. But as you can see, the green door is now lowered, and I can leave through the purple one and get my score in time. Thank you very much for watching.
Hello, my name is Antonio Martinez, and I am part of Team AFK Games. And I am here to show you our game Cryptid. For Sprint 4, I was tasked with creating a mechanic and a level centered around that mechanic. And the mechanic, as I created, as you can see, is this QuickTime event mechanic. If you fail the QuickTime event mechanic, a bad thing will usually happen. In most cases, actually in all cases, it is instant player death for the player. If you succeed in the QuickTime event, then usually a good thing will happen. As in you not falling off as you did there, or you not getting instantly killed. Or even you not getting taken out of the locker by the enemy, as you will see right here. If I end my turn in here, he saw me come in here, and he will try to grab me, and it'll say, see, I got you now. So, coming back out here, we're going to actually succeed on these. Once you succeed, you'll hear a little success sound. And the QTE mechanic can be implemented into anything I want to implement it into. I just chose the enemy in the pits because they seem like the more simpler interactions. The enemy, the pits, and the lockers, because they seem like the more simpler interactions. And I wanted to add tension for the player. I did not want to add too many, and even though there seems to be a lot here, it's still within a limit that the player doesn't have to interact with it every single turn, which could end up being frustrating. If you come through here, nope, there you go. As mentioned previously, instead of that just injuring me there, that would have killed me. I had to set a conditional to make sure the enemy couldn't grab you multiple times in a row. Ooh, there we go, but if you still walk into their path, you can still get grabbed. Ooh, I'm gonna try to dodge them here. Alright. I chose 3, 4, and 5 because those were easier numbers for me to hit, but the way this system is created, any number or any key could be chosen for the QuickTime event. Ooh, I might end up dying here. I'm gonna try to make it out of here successfully. But as you can see, it creates 10 situations instead of just having the player die as soon as they interact with the enemy. They have the opportunity to survive if they're skilled enough. And it also gives us as developers the option of creating 10 situations like this where the player is forced to get grabbed. We go around here. And if I was willing to risk my health, I would grab all those coins. I'll grab this one. And I'll grab this last one over here. Ooh. And that is my level and my mechanic. Thank you for your time.
Hello, my name is Elliot Clausen, and I'll be doing the sprint review for our game Cryptid on version 0.028. Alright, so I'll go ahead and get over to my level. I am level 9. So before moving throughout the level, I'll give a quick overview of how my mechanic works and how it's implemented throughout the levels or throughout the level. Basically, what's being set and changed is your opacity that allows you to become invisible. That's on a timeline, and it makes a smooth transition between visible and invisible. It sets you to the opacity of 0.1 and gives you enough so that you can see the player, but just enough that it looks like you're invisible. And then after 5 seconds, you go back to visible, and the opacity is set back to 1. Then there's a cooldown for about 8 seconds, and you can do that by pressing R, and that's set in the code. That looks like this in the game, and it does make you invisible, and it does affect the enemy AI's perception, as well as the light. The light is an indicator of whether you're caught or not. So it'll change, and the enemy's movements will change unless you're caught, and absolutely, like, the character is within grasp of you. You won't be able to use the invisibility to get away. You're just caught. It's meant to be a quick escape if you're caught and the character is making their way over to you. He'll stop, and the light will change, and then once your move is completed, he'll go back into the nav point kind of direction that it was headed. So that being said, I'll talk about the level a little bit. The way that I set up the level is to mimic the way the Resident Evil mansion is set up. It's not exact, but I like the way that that looks, kind of with the with like a sky bridge merging between the left side of the level and the right. So that's the way that's set up. There are 2 rooms on the left side and on the right side. There's one on each. Both housing a key card, and the way that you obtain those is by having 2 demonstrations of how you can use the invisibility to get past the enemy AI. There are 3 key cards, and they all link together for the yellow door. Once you pass the yellow door, you'll go up this kind of slope, and then the slope will reach the purple door, which can transition you over to the next level. I'll give a quick playthrough of it. And these are vents here, but they're meant for you to kind of maneuver around the enemy. They're on a patrol right now, so I want to give the opportunity for the player to figure their way around the enemies while this patrol is going on. This is not exactly an encounter that requires for you to have the invisibility active, but almost every single time you enter into this, you'll be kind of forced to use the invisibility on your way out, and you'll see that here. Once the enemy AI walks past, there we go. They're right around the corner. So when you make your way out, if you're headed towards the right side and you stand kind of in this location, the enemy AI will turn the corner and see you. I'll give a quick example of that. Enemy AI sees you, and then you can use the invisibility. Now he doesn't see you, then you can walk around and get over to your next encounter, I guess. So I'll regain my moves, and then come over here, regain my moves. Alright, then I'll use my invisibility and then get around this enemy here. to that barrier to prevent the enemy AI from catching me again. So that enemy has walked past, come through, and that's the sky bridge right there. I thought it looked pretty cool to have, but it's also another way for you to traverse the level, and I'll actually show that here. Wait till the enemy AI makes its round. There we go. And I'll go up. So the sky bridge is not just for looks. It looks safe, but the enemy AI can definitely walk up the staircase and pursue you if it does catch you. So it's not as safe as what it looks like. So we're coming up on the second encounter here for you to get the key card. And I'll get into position. So here's just another example of how you should be using the invisibility to either get away or not be caught in a certain scenario. I'm gonna make my way across. And I'll get the key card here. So we have all of them now. Not get caught. Ooh, that enemy AI is right there. It looks almost like he's looking through the vent, but he's not. Okay, so now I can safely get out. And I'll wait for the enemy AI to make their round. So this is my opportunity to go up. I haven't been caught, so there's no reason for me to use the invisibility. And this is where I'll talk about the win-loss condition. If you make it to the end of the level, you win. If you don't die, you won't exactly lose, but you won't win. The lose condition for you is if you die or if you just never, complete the level. But it's as simple as that. And then when you come around here, this is the slope that leads to the purple door, and will transition you into the next level. But when it gives me the prompt, I'll go ahead and return back to main menu. But yeah, that is my mechanic. I think that the invisibility mechanic will prove useful in the future for puzzles and complex kind of routes that the enemy AI can take and potentially catch you. It'll help out whenever you're trying to navigate certain situations. So I think it's a valuable thing to have within the game, and hopefully other players or players get to see that as well and want to use it in order to get through our game. But with that being said, I'm going to put the video to an end. Thank you.